Good evening. This is my presentation. My name is Kirsten Thomas, or KT, and this is Women in Uruguay. Oh, here we go. There we go. So this is a structured population slide. Uruguay has a population of about 35 million people. However, there are more women than men. The population growth has been very steady and stays at a stable rate, but increases gradually. An increasing percentage of the population of Uruguay is 65 years of age or older, indicating an aging population, indicating that people there live pretty long, because considering people here or in the United States usually live to about 50, 55 is, I say, like the main range of people, because we have a lot of chemicals and whatnot in our food. That's a different topic for a different day. I'm getting sidetracked. Uruguay's population resides mostly in urban areas, particularly around the capital and big cities such as Montevideo. Men and women in Uruguay have a decent quality of life and a comparatively long life expectancy. This is caused by a number of factors, including general and socio-economic situations and access to health care. In Uruguay, average woman has fewer than 2 children. The fertility rate has been below replacement level. Higher developed nations tend to follow a similar pattern. Okay, ethnic groups. Due to its predominantly European nation, Uruguay is renowned for having a homogeneous population, which basically means they kind of have all the same people. Immigration to the nation has a history primarily from Italy and Spain. Not as many people as in several Latin American nations, but still fewer than in Uruguay of mixed European and indigenous origin. Originating from African slaves imported to the area during colonial times, Afro-Uruguayans constitute a small minority in the country. Their presence has added to Uruguay's cultural richness, despite their numbers of being less than in some other South American nations. Given Uruguay's small indigenous population, their impact on the country's overall demographic composition is negligible. Native to the area were the Charrua people, but European colonists brought diseases and conflicts that drastically decreased their population. Languages and religions. In Uruguay, Spanish is the official language. The language used in government, school, and everyday communication is Spanish, which is spoken by the great majority of the people. Parts of Argentina also speak Rio Platense Spanish, which is an influence on the Spanish spoken in Uruguay. Secularism and religious tolerance are highly valued in Uruguay. Church and state are kept apart in this nation, which does not have an official religion. Because of historical effects, however, the majority of the Uruguayans identify as nominally Catholic. In the history and culture of the nation, the Catholic Church has been very important. The number of Uruguayans who identify as non-religious or atheists is considerable despite the country's strong Catholic population. The proportion of Uruguayans who identify as non-religious has significantly increased in recent years. Protestants, Jews, and people of various religions are among the numerous religious minorities in Uruguay. There is a widespread climate of religious freedom and acceptance throughout the nation, notwithstanding the comparatively modest number of these groups. With the populace that supports individual freedom, opinion, and expression, Uruguay is frequently considered one of the most secular nations in Latin America. Okay. Sports and personal pursuits. Uruguayans follow football as their most popular sport, aka soccer, what we call soccer in the United States. Having won the FIFA World Cup both in 1930 and 1950, the nation has a long, illustrious history of football and success on the international front. Football is incredibly popular in Uruguay and has a strong cultural hold on the country's people. Uruguay has also a large fan base for basketball. In addition to having a successful national team, the nation boasts a competitive basketball league. In Uruguay, rugby is becoming more and more popular as more and more individuals take up the game. Competitors in South America have taken notice of the national rugby squad as well. In Uruguay, there is an interest in track and field competitions as well as other sports. Prominent sportsmen from the nation have participated in international tournaments as well. Uruguay has a vibrant tango scene, which is like one of their personal pursuits. Now we're into personal pursuits. I forgot to say that. Especially in Montevideo, the country's capital, people come together to enjoy this famous dance format dance halls during events, as tango is an essential component of the cultural legacy. Multicolored parades, vivid costumes, music, and dance are hallmarks of Uruguay's carnival, a significant cultural celebration, with Montevideo holding one of the most well-known extravagant carnivals in South America. The country as a whole celebrates with the carnival. With numerous well-known authors, poets, Uruguay boasts a rich literacy A literary heritage, influential people from the nation who have made substantial contributions to Latin America and Latin American literature include Juan Carlos Onetti and Mario Benedetti. With several galleries and art space exhibiting the creations of both domestic and foreign artists, Uruguay is home to a burgeoning contemporary art scene. Paintings, sculptures, and other visual artists that are active in the international art scene have come from this nation. With several galleries, art spaces exhibiting the creations of both domestic and foreign artists, Uruguay is home to a burgeoning contemporary... Oh my god, I put that twice. No. Sorry, I put that twice. Just X that out. Forget that was there. There are film festivals in Uruguay that feature both domestic and foreign movies, and the nation has a growing film industry with a wide range of shows happening all year long. The theater scene is equally dynamic. Okay, now we're moving on to the women's side of Uruguay. Opportunities for women. At every level of education, women in Uruguay have equal access. Women and girls are encouraged to pursue higher education in a variety of disciplines, and this is strongly emphasized. Uruguayan women actively engage in the workforce in a variety of sectors. The nation is working to eliminate discrimination against women in the workplace and advance gender parity and opportunities. So this tells me that women are not really created equal in the workplace, but they're working on it. In terms of women's representation in politics, Uruguay has made progress. Women are represented in positions of authority at all levels of the government, and the nation has taken steps to guarantee a fair distribution of seats in political bodies. Due to initiatives and support programs designed to encourage women's engagement in business and startups, Uruguay offers chances for female entrepreneurs. The nation's economic economic prosperity is facilitated by women-owned companies. The healthcare system in Uruguay is highly developed and offers both genders equal access to medical care. Programs for maternal health and reproductive rights are significant facets of the healthcare system. Legal changes pertaining to domestic abuse, workplace harassment, and gender-biased discrimination have been put into place in Uruguay in an effort to improve the rights of women. A society that is more egalitarian is facilitated by these legal systems. The empowerment of women is the goal of many groups in Uruguay. Women are supported and advocated for by these organizations which tackle issues like economic injustice, gender bias, violence, and reproductive rights. Women in Uruguay play a variety of sports, and both amateur and professional women's sports are gaining popularity and support, such like the U.S. Opportunities for women in coaching, management, and sports journalism fall under this category. Women in Uruguay play a variety of sports. Oh my gosh, I just read that. Wow, I put that twice too. Why do I keep doing that? Anyways. Women in sports. Here we go. This part. No, go back. Okay. Bear with me. No, go back. Women in sports. This is women in sports. A major movement has been made to give women in sports more prominence. Sports involving female athletes are now better covered, and these events draw greater interest. This enhanced awareness fosters the notion that women may succeed in a variety of sports and helps dispel misconceptions. For the purpose of advancing gender equality in sports, projects have been launched, initiatives to combat gender bias, discrimination, equal opportunity in sports and organizations, and campaigns to encourage females to play sports like some of these efforts. There has been progress, but there is still work to be done in terms of women representation in leadership positions within sports organizations. To advance gender parity and to guarantee a range of viewpoints in sports governance, more women must hold positions of decision-making authority. Uruguayan women's sports, like those in many other nations, occasionally struggle with sponsorship and finance, much like the U.S. Financial support for male and female athletes teams is frequently very different. Women's leagues and competitions have benefited from the establishment and encouragement of these initiatives. Female athletes can participate at different levels and display their talents in women's football leagues and other organized contests. Discussions and advocacy efforts are underway in Uruguay to address the gender pay gap in sports. The subject of equal compensation for female athletes has garnered international attention, and it takes constant awareness to an effort to achieve equal compensation. I'm gonna stop. Okay, one of the athletes that was named the most hero or the most outstanding female athlete was Gabriela Anderson. She is among Uruguay's most prominent female athletes because she ran in the marathon of the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. She became well known throughout the world. Uruguayan marathon runner Gabriela Anderson participated in the competition. She endured intense heat and tiredness during the marathon event. Anderson found it difficult to stay composed as her physical condition worsened the last lap of the race. She continued and finished the marathon while clearly being distressed, grabbing at the attention of people all around the world. She became such an inspiration to many and a symbol of the Olympic sport because of her willpower and fortitude in finishing the marathon in spite of difficult conditions. Even though she did not take home a medal, her incredible performance is remembered for one of the most spectacular in Olympic history because it had a lasting impression. Those are my forces. Forces? Oh my God, sources. Thank you. Bye.